that would come back, we'd look at nested statements, and let's do that. So let's do this. Let's include string. We don't give the string much love, so let's do that. And let's make some string variables. Let's make string name. And then let's make a char. We'll call that choice. Alright, what I think I want to do here is I want to build a menu for, say, a game, like a small arcade game where there'd be a new game button, and then there'll be a quit button. So let's do this. Let's have a cout statement saying, welcome to my game. Okay. A cout statement again. Would you like to start a new game? And let's put y/n as like a, that's what I want you to enter. And let's cn choice. And the idea here is that this is a char, so I'm either wanting you to put y or n inside of this char here, this choice. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking for. And I'm also showing you how you can use chars with this as well. So if choice is equivalent to y, again we got to use the apostrophes because it is a char. Alright, here we go. If we want to do that, then we'll say enter a name for your character. Okay, before that, let's say do you want to make a new character? Kind of went out of order here. I kind of changed my mind. Don't tell anyone. I'm allowed to do that. Here we go. If, let's make another if. Okay, so we have an if with inside of an if. We're still in the body, right? We're still in the body of this here. Let's move this over. And let's say, do you want to make a new character? Let's see if choice. Let's see if choice is going to be equal to y. Alright, let's put curly braces in here because we're good and we want to make sure that everything lines up, and look how it does. Okay, forgot my end line on this. Oh no, there we go. Okay, so we're asking if choice is going to be equivalent to y, and choice is going to be equivalent to y again. Well, problem. Do you want to make a new character? What do we need below this? That's right, we need to actually grab choice again and reassign it. Okay. So we're still inside of the body of this here. If choice equals to y, enter a new name for your character, and let's put name inside of here. And just for giggles, if I want to do this here as well, if name is equivalent to Tim, then let's put out cout. Wow, keyboard. That's a really good name. This is the subjectable part of your code. You might change this. Alright, so we're looking good. Okay, let's see how this can get messy real quick. We have an if with inside of an if with inside of an if. Okay? In Inception land, this is a dream with inside of a dream with inside of a dream. So this is getting out of hand. Now, what's the problem that we see with this here? Well, it's a string, so if we do an input grab on this, it will stop as soon as we hit a white space character. Now that's okay since I'm technically only expecting my first name on this, so this does work. But if we wanted to do it the get line way, like say for instance if we were looking for my first name and my last name, we would have to use the getLine function, which holds cin object as argument 1 and the variable for the second part of it there. There we go. Get line. I'm going to just put a space here just so that it's nice and easily read. Okay, looks good. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can kind of see what's going on. Let's move this down. Alright, it's got a lot of stuff here. Now, I have this if here. I want to either, what if the user right away just doesn't push Y, they push N? Should we just exit? Yeah, and that's fine, you can exit. Now if we wanted to have something said before the return 0, then we could actually put an else case in this as well. Now we need to make sure that the else case is outside of the parent if, and that is at the bottom of the opening curly braces here and closing curly brace here, and that is down here. So the else would belong here. Putting braces on it, we could say quitting. Alright, let's go ahead and run this. Sure I don't have any errors or nothing crazy. Welcome to my game. Would you like to start a new game? I'm gonna hit Y. Do you want to make a new character? Why certainly. Enter a name for your character and then press any key to continue. What happened? So enter a name for your character and then get line, cin name. What happened? Well, the reason why I want to switch this up here is that there is a problem with grabbing strings using getLine and cin and all this other sort of stuff between mixing these up here. There's actually an entire, I think, 2 pages in your textbook dedicated to explaining this problem. It has to do with a keyboard buffer overflow, but without getting too rooted deep in it, here's something to look out for. If you have this functionality in your program, your program's fine, more than likely. There's nothing wrong with the way that you've put it as far as syntax, but the buffer is overflowing. So to get rid of this, what you could do is you could use cin.ignore. Okay. Now the cin.ignore function will ignore a set number of characters that you will say, or if you leave it blank, it'll just be a single character. As well. So depending on the way that you use it, you can have it ignore certain things or a certain number of characters or so on. If you just put it like this here, it will only ignore 1. Let's go ahead. Do you want to make a new character? Yes. Enter a name for your character, and now I can actually enter in a name. I put in Tim. That's a really good name. Press any key to continue. So this here may be necessary, the cin.ignore, right before the get line. As the last cin, there's already input in the buffer, and then when it gets to this, it just says, oh, you've already added something. There's already something in there, so therefore I should just skip it. And then because that thing is now stored into this here, it's saying, okay, no, it didn't, it didn't match that, so keep on going. You need to say, hey, wait a minute, clear out whatever's stuck in that buffer so that we don't have this stupid error. Just a little dumb error that we have. So something to look out for. I wanted to highlight that just really quick. All right, so we might have another problem that's here as well. Here's another problem that you might have. What if you were to accidentally hit on your keyboard cruise control for cool, which is also known as the caps lock? Now if you were to put a capital Y in here, it says quitting. Now, why is that? Well, this is the case-sensitive language, and the lowercase character y is different from the uppercase character y. And you should know this by up to this point now with the ASCII table chart and knowing that this is a case-sensitive language to begin with. So how can you test for both cases, both lowercase and uppercase? Good question. There is a couple of ways to do that. I'm going to show you one way now, and another way will surface a little bit later once we get into functions. Okay, so if we want to check this out now, what we can do is we can say, with our brand new logical operators, what can we say? If choice is either lowercase y or uppercase y, right? Haha, there you go, you just said it. Or, we want to add that in there, or choice is equivalent to uppercase. Alright, now we can add the same thing. I just copy and paste this down here. Add the same thing to the next one. Now we can actually test for both uppercase and lowercase. Go to my game, here we go. Do you want to make a new character? Again, uppercase, and we keep on going. And I'm going to put uppercase Tim. Uh-oh. Uppercase Tim doesn't work. So, what about that? Well, we can also do that as well. If we put, or name, wow, messed this all up. If name is equivalent to uppercase Tim, now we're testing for both cases. So now we can do uppercase, or rather lowercase. I accidentally hit the tab instead of caps lock. I'll hold shift this time, and let's put y, and then enter a name, capital Tim. There we go. Okay, so that's nesting structures here, and just note that every child inside of here, it will be subject to the parent that it's defined with inside of that body. So this here is completely a child of this structure, and this is child of this structure. Now it doesn't mean that because this is triggered that this will be triggered, okay? And it just simply means that it's another statement inside of this body that will get executed. In this case, it's another question, okay? So that's the dream within inside of a dream within inside of a dream, and yeah, that's the inception model for you. Okay, so braces, this is where they come into handy, and you can click on one brace and see where the other brace for that is. Make sure they're always aligned vertically. Once you get one thing, if this is just giving you a headache to look at, once you get one section set, you can close these little drawers here. Okay, and then expand them. So if your code's just getting a little too long, you can open and close these drawers just to keep it all nice and neat and just kind of put away while you work on something else. So if you need to keep going up and down, you can, make it shorter by just closing these little drawers. So just some tips and tricks. Hope that helped, and I'll see you guys in the assignment.